Hey guys, welcome. So this is exciting because I honestly want to talk about the importance of any kind of attempt you make at a sale. There's got to be an offer that makes sense to people, and it has a number of different elements which will attract them naturally. And that's the point of sales, is to attract people to the thing that you are selling, of course, right? So first of all, I want to say thank you for being here. Second of all, if you would like a copy of this Google Doc, please reach out to me. Just DM the word offer to me in my DMs, and I would be happy to send this to you. And without further ado, let's hop in. So again, I'm at Pete Smart Referrals. Feel free to give me a follow and just reach out to me. I am on Instagram, and again, this is the offer build out worksheet. So let's just hop in. First of all, right, the idea here is we want to figure out what the psyche is of people in general who are, what does it take to persuade? And there's been countless books written about this topic, and I'm just going to offer my insight into what it takes to really get your agency off the ground, right? Whether that's you're doing AI automation, or you're doing Facebook advertising, or social media. Who knows? Whatever your offer is, maybe you like to copyright. Maybe you are just trying to connect with people and figure out how to help them build their business and learn from others, right? So I am going to give you the formula to creating the best possible offers, though, and you know you have to really think about what you're offering people and how you can really get them engaged. So first thing, why don't people buy your world class offer? If you are already trying to and you've already failed, don't feel bad. Most people who get into this line of work, whether it's an agency or whether it's recruiting or whether it's sales, people are going to, you're not, most people are going to fail right when they start. And there's a number of reasons behind that. But um, number one, you sell to the wrong people, right? So maybe you just don't even have the right, they call it an ICP, ideal client profile. And we'll talk about that in a moment, but you don't want to go too far down. There's a saying, like, it's almost like the Goldilocks, if you've never heard of that before, but if you go too narrow, you might root out everybody. But if you go too broad, if you're trying to sell to everybody, you're selling to no one. I don't know if you've ever heard that expression before. So the Goldilocks approach is to find something that is right in between, right in the middle. Um, to find the right people, large group, easy to find, and they're willing to pay. So the ICP, or the ideal client profile, has to match with, it's just got to be right in the middle there. Number two, why aren't people buying your world class offer? Maybe you are the wrong person. People don't know you, number one. People don't trust you. Sometimes people don't trust you because they don't know you. And sometimes it's because they know you. That's a joke. So hopefully, when they get to know you, they will drop their guard. And it's been said that, I think, on Facebook nowadays, the number might even be greater. But for anybody who's putting an ad out there for somebody who actually buys, it takes at least seven, if not double digit 10 um, times in which an ad is placed in front of somebody in which they will actually purchase. Sometimes it's less. So, but that's why cold calling is so difficult. If you cold call somebody that don't know who you are, of course, how put yourself in that person's shoes. You're going to turn around and say, I don't know this person, and quickly find an excuse, a reason to hang up. Now, cold calling is not dead. You can still cold call and do it, but it takes a lot of practice, and you really have to nail down your offer. Hopefully, people like you, and you are the right person. So number three, your offer doesn't solve a real problem, and this is possible, right? Maybe you have an offer that is it might be too saturated. Um, where if you're selling what everybody else is selling, maybe what you're selling is it's not exciting. It's bland, right? Perhaps there is no pain, or there's no real pleasure, or perhaps there's no payoff. But your job in sales is to convince someone, yes, convince them that they are in pain, and you are the person who can help solve that pain point. And whatever that is, usually it comes down to two things. It's usually time or money. but we'll talk about all of that as well. So your offer does need to solve a real problem, and we'll get into just how you can do that. Number four, the price point is wrong. The price outrises or goes beyond the payoff, right? So yeah, there is a moment in time where somebody will say this is way too expensive. However, if you know that your price point is correct and people are still saying no, then they're just simply not the right people. You don't want to work with them anyway because they're probably not going to pay you, and it's not going to end well, right? If you've ever been in sales before and people are balking at your starting line and they are interested in what you're selling, however, they they keep coming up with a reason. It's price is usually not the thing that people will. It's something else, right? There's some other real objection. It might be price. It might be that they don't have enough money. And again, sadly, that person is probably not right for you. But the tip: if you demonstrate the value to people, they are willing to pay no matter the price, and that is true. People will take out their wallets if you can convince them that what you are selling is going to help them and alleviate their pain. Um, don't make people pay for your time. Make them pay for your results, and that's so true. Um, there are people out there who are going to be demanding that you solve their pain points, in 24 hours. Which sometimes that is just like it's um, yeah, it's not reasonable. But if you can promise people the results without risk, which we'll talk about, they're much more likely to choose you. Another tip: without doubt, you can charge people 10% of the value of the payoff. And this is absolutely true. Sometimes you could charge more. And it's just a matter of doing it for the first time, seeing some success, and understanding, what the market is charging for your services as well. Number five, giving the wrong presentation. So if you are out there with an offer and you have a service and you know it's good, but you might be presenting the offer in the wrong way, you don't need to tell them all the details and give them the entire process and all the pieces and all the little, you know, you don't want to get too deep into the weeds with AI automation specifically if this is what you're offering to clients. The best thing you can do is to show them, to just give them an example of a chatbot or a voice bot that works. I've seen on my sales page, I have a video that will run that will show exactly how the bots work, and then I also have the bots underneath where people can experiment with. It all depends. There are some who will just watch the video, and then there are some who will experiment. But I typically put the video on top first because that's what people want to do. They just want to quickly watch and see, hey, will this thing work? And that's it. But again, going back to the presentation, if you get on a call with somebody and they want you to explain the process, don't do it. Just say, hey, look, I have this piece of equipment, this software, and it's going to save you time and it's going to make you money. Is that what you'd like to do? And if the answer is yes, let's move forward. Um, and if they want to demo the bot or they want to talk about all the details, that's fine, but you don't need to go too deep down the rabbit hole. And then again, emphasizing on you want to step aside. You don't need to show the world that you're the best salesperson ever or the best this or that. Just again, you need to demonstrate that whatever you have is going to work. Tip: the wealth has a need for speed. So yes, there is an idea. You do want to be able to deliver fairly quickly. It's not something that should take more than a couple days to set up. Specifically, I always tell people it just depends, but usually if you are setting up SMS and A2P, that's a story for another day. That can take a week. However, if you want to set up a live chat widget on somebody's website, that should take you an hour. It really should, and I can show you how to do that. Tip: the presentation has to be about the payoff. Example: you get that, you get this, right? So you really want to be honing in on the results and more of like the destination and less about the journey. I mean, it's a little bit of both, but when you're selling, you need to sell the results and you need to sell what they're getting after working with you. Tip: deliver value first so people can be happy to search for you to pay you with their money. So if you need to start with a free trial, it's fine. It's okay to do that. And many times, especially when you're starting out, it's the right thing to do. So if you do come across some bumps in the road, these people haven't paid you yet. You're just demonstrating your value through a free trial. And without having to pay you, they're going to be less inclined to, give you a hard time. But of course, you do want to deliver on your promise, and it is about speed, right? Let's keep going. Understanding your avatar, right? So sit down and figure out one group of people you want to work with, whether it's mortgage buyers, whether it's gyms, whether it's dentists, you name it, gyms, med spas. The world is your oyster. There are some um, there are some people out there who may be more difficult to work with, who have maybe not as high of a threshold for their finances. I'm not going to name any specific groups, but I will say that, think about people who have money, real estate agents, right? People who are looking for their pain points um, to be solved quickly, and who will, if you demonstrate your value and your power to them, they will go with it. They will run with your offer and with you. But figure out, who do you want to work with? Describe your most ideal client, customer you would love to have. For example, age, characteristic traits, lifestyle, etc. Don't be afraid to go deep. List 6 to 7 attributes, traits you want them to have. So you're going to create an avatar, right? So sit down and do this on your own, whether it's on this Google Doc, right? Like I said, just reach out to me if you'd like this, or yeah. So fitness coach, 20 to 30 years old, doesn't micromanage, has a great product, foundations, and micro brand, easy to build relationships with, has solid communication, and overall a nice person to work with. Ticket price 500 to 2,500 for fitness offer, has a database of 1,000 plus leads minimum. Now, the last part may not be what this person has. However, you do want to look to work with somebody who is established, because starting out with a new business can be risky. You feel free to do it. It's not off you know, the scope of what you can and cannot do with somebody. But if they don't have a list of people that you can reach out to, you're not going to be able to do what's called database reactivation, and that essentially is going into their database of current clients, former clients, who would simply, if you send them an offer, would buy because they know, like, and trust your client. What you would be forced to do is you would have to basically run ads for this client. And again, as long as this client is open to spending anywhere between, it can't be $10. It's got to be closer to 25, 30 dollars a day. If that person has the budget to do it, then great. Then you can work with somebody who is willing to advertise on Facebook or Instagram. Number two, what does your niche struggle with the most? If not sure, start by mass reaching out and start conversations with your ICP, your ideal client profile, above to figure out. So yeah, reach out to people. It's not the your offer is not going to sell itself. You have to get on the phone, you have to email, you have to get in people's DMs, reach out to people you know. Do whatever you can. Go on Upwork and apply to jobs on Upwork. The more appointments and client acquisition. This is what most businesses are looking for. They're looking to grow their business. They're looking for more appointments, more leads, and more clients. Number three, what terrifies your ideal clients and keeps them up at night staring at the ceiling? It's going back to the gym floor. Rather than hiring other physical trainers who can work for you, their probably biggest fear is having to go back, perhaps. And I mean, maybe they do run their own business, of course. Maybe it's just one person, one personal trainer, and it's just him or her self. But perhaps this is one of the things that keeps them up at night. Number four, what are the top 3 things that frustrate your perfect clients on a daily basis? Responding to DMs, creating content, not enough appointments, and the list goes on. So again, these are the pain points that you're going to use in your offer when you do speak with these new potential clients of yours. Number five, what does it cost them if they weren't able to solve these frustrations? Not enough time to spend with their family and not making the money freedom that they deserve, right? So again, it goes back to 2 things: time and money. Both of them relate to freedom. Number six, what does your ideal client customer want more than anything right now? more money with time and freedom and not working on their business, but rather in their business, but rather on it, right? So moving on, your offer strategy. Who are you and what are you offering? Hi, my name is Pete, and I want to provide appointment setting infrastructure through AI automation to fitness coaches, etc. Right? So look in the mirror and say this to yourself because this is who you are. This is who you want to be. And I'm not joking. Literally, you should be rehearsing this and thinking about this, figuring out a talk track, all of that good stuff, figuring out what your offer is. So list out all your mechanisms and time to deliver each. Week one, AI SMS plus email reactivation. Again, this is database reactivation to existing database and old customers list with a new offer. So this should take about 4 hours to set up a funnel, an automation in GHL, unless you already have one, right? Once you create it once, too, might I add, you can just copy your workflows in GHL and then just tinker with the names that are included, whoever, whatever, right? In other words, if you work with one gym, you might as well be working with 100. It's just a matter of making those quick fixes in high level um, to be more specific to your client. Again, week one, free lead magnet creation. So you're going to create, right? Selling anything, there's got to be an offer. And this is important for you, for yourself, when you're making your pitch to your potential clients, fitness coaches, business coaches, dentists, mortgage people, whoever, real estate agents. But on top of that, you also need to figure out what is the offer that is going to catch their ideal client profile's eyes, right? So it's kind of like a two-step process. So figure out what, and typically this isn't difficult to do. You can go on Facebook into the ads library and figure out what ads are available there. What are gyms? What are personal trainers? What are they promising or what are they offering? Very easy to figure this out. And again, it's just a matter of having a conversation. Hey, how do you typically attract new clients? Is there an offer? If they don't have an offer, this might not be the right person for you, but typically they will. And if they don't, you can always have this type of conversation, sit down and figure out what would be best for them. Week two, installing AI setters automation in the DMs GHL ManyChat. So keywords, new followers, engaged leads, story pop-ups, all that good stuff. This should take about 3 hours. And week two, hard lead flow. You're just now going to start sending out the offer into and reactivating their database. Hopefully they have at least 500 to 1,000 people who they've worked with in the past. Most important thing, right? Most people operate on risk reversal. And what that means is only when starting out, and then of course, once you become an authority, you can ditch this. But the idea is this: if I come to you or somebody comes to you and there is great risk in what you're doing, people are going to be really doubtful. Okay. Versus when you actually have much, much less risk, closer to zero risk, right? When it comes to a free demo or a free trial. Hey, what do you have to lose? I'm going to do this for you for the first 7 days. If you like what you see, great. You can work with me. If you don't, we part as friends, right? So risk reversal is one of the most important things here. And then if you don't see an increase in your monthly revenue after 30 days, then full money back guarantee, plus keep the infrastructure for an additional 100 days. These are things that you can say to a potential client, right? If you don't make 2 times what you pay me, then I'll give you a complete refund plus $100 for wasting your time. That's up to you. You can really phrase this however you like, but most importantly, here comes our 1-sentence offer that comes after the pricing. Okay, so the pricing protocol. So you got to map this out, and this is going to be different for everybody, but a predicted revenue increase, right? When you go to a client and you say, and they ask you, well, how much are you going to make me, right? That's the first thing they're going to say. And look, I don't have any hard numbers or guarantees, but let's say here's an estimate of what we could do. If you have 1,000 people in your database, and let's say I reactivate them, I send out to all 1,000 people an email offer, text offer, 3% of the market booking appointment, right? And 40% buying at $500 ticket price. In other words, 3%, right, will of those 1,000 people So we're talking about, um, if you do the numbers, 3% of 1,000 is 30. 40% of those 30 people will actually buy, right? These are actually numbers, statistics that are proven. That comes to basically 12 people. If you have a $500 ticket price times 12, that's $6,000 in additional revenue for the first week, right? The free lead magnet and landing page equals 5 to 10 new engaged leads daily, with 10% converting into appointments at 25% close. Again, if you run the numbers, this is about 3,750 a month. So right there, you're talking about adding close to $10,000. Again, in the best case scenario, you're working with a client that has at least 1,000 people in their system. Look, some have way more than that. Some have far less. But again, working with this thousand person reactivation, that's where you're going to see the best results. Okay, and you haven't even, again, you don't even have to spend a dollar, right? That's part of the risk reversal. And because a lot of people are, well, what's this going to cost me? Well, if you have a database of 1,000 people, I can just reach out to them, and that won't cost you a dime. And that right away gets people to perk up and say, okay, let's give this a try. So what is the cost to deliver the service? So $250 plus usage of the software, around $100 a month. But right, for us, the pricing setup fee equals 5 times the cost plus the pace of delivery. So $1,250 setup minimum, and then a $2,000 monthly recurring revenue. So, or 6,000 PIF. PIF stands for paid in full. I wouldn't even go down that path. You can ask people for paid in full, but that's only if you've really gotten your agency off the ground and people are referring you, and you're doing well. There's a way to actually ask for your money up front. Let's just save that for another day. And then, of course, you can increase as you scale. But look, the first 2 clients you work with, it should be $750 setup fee and then $500 monthly. Finally, most importantly, building your one sentence offer. You've got these 6 categories, and you should at least have a few of them in each of your one sentence offers. Really, the ideal client profile needs to be added in every single one or mentioned. And then you've got the monetary results or your outcome, the time frame in which you are promising to deliver, 0 risk, additional benefits, and then the vehicle, the means to the end. So you should have at least 2 or 3, but hopefully four of the 6. If you want to include all 6 of these into your one sentence offer, hey, even better. Here are just a couple examples of how you can approach people, whether it's in the DMs, whether it's in emails, whether it's on the phone, what have you. I partner with fitness coaches to add 9.7 thousand to their MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue, in the first 30 days. And you only pay if I deliver these results. So right there, 0 risk. A lot of people are, they're going to squish their eyebrows at that, but then you can get into a conversation of how you'd be able to do that. It would just be a pay as you go. And a lot of the times, people won't even, if you say a certain number and you don't reach that number, they're still not going to be mad at you because you're still giving them results. So, are there some people who will be like, oh, you said this amount of money? Yes, there are people out there who will hold you to your word, but typically when you are showing people results, they are going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and they're going to forget, your initial offer and just see that you're producing results, and they're going to love you for it. Fitness coaches, I'll install our AI appointment booking funnel into your business to get 12 new coaching clients in the next 30 days, right? So you've got a time frame, you've got additional benefits, and then you've got the vehicle, the means to the end. Finally, I help business coaches spend more time with their family while making more money on autopilot by leveraging AI. I'm telling you, you use any of these 3 and it is going to convert better than you think. You put this offer out there to 100 different people, at least 5 will respond, maybe more. It all depends. It all depends on how good your offer is and how many people you reach out to. So it's outbound reach, and it's all this stuff. I hope you enjoyed this offer build out worksheet. Again, I'm excited to work with you. If you'd like to book an appointment with me or a call and jump on a call with me one-on-one, I'd be happy to help. But yeah, feel free to reach out, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys.